Kasa has acquired Mint House at a moment when the urban apart hotel sector has just gone through a brutal shakedown. Sonder is gone, capital has pulled back, and Kasa just made one of the only consolidation moves left in the category. So in today's GMH special breaking news episode, I'm sitting down with Roman, who's the CEO of Kasa, and talking about the acquisition of Mint House, why the deal went down, why it was a good fit for Kasa, and what can we expect with Kasa as a brand moving forward in a space that has gotten smaller and smaller and smaller over the years. So without further ado, let's bring on Roman. All right, Roman, welcome back. Long time no see, my friend. How you been?
Long time. I've been well. We haven't been standing still. The time has passed.
I was going to say, I feel like 1,000 years has gone by, but it's only been 5-ish since we last recorded together, which is still a long time, way too long. But you guys have been keeping very, very busy.
Yeah, an old saying I like, which always resonates, is the days are long, but the decades are short. And that's how it's felt since we last spoke. It's not been a decade though, so we won't let it get to that.
100%. Well, I appreciate you taking the time with me today. I want to say congratulations on the acquisition of Mint House. Great team, great brand. We'll get into some of that in a little bit, but I want to start with this. How did this deal come together? I want to know, because I think for the listeners, it's kind of almost obvious, right? Like the urban operator space is not as big as it once was. But how did this deal with Mint House specifically come together?
Yeah, to your point, the short-term rental world that space has grown, but but it's also consolidated. We have, the industry is small, and that the relationships are strong within it. And so we've gotten to know the Mint House team over a long period of time, and they're in our backyard. We're here in New York. Mint House is here in New York. We always respected their team, as well as their brand and what they're building. As the sector has matured, their leadership team and their investors recognize that scale is really important. And they recognized in us that given our scale, our reputation, the technology that we've built, and our shared culture, as well as some complementary capabilities, especially on the commercial side, that joining forces with us would maximize value. And so while in the end, things moved very quickly when in the heat of the acquisition, it has been a long time coming and getting to know them and respecting them from afar here in New York.
I love that. And how do you guys plan to use Mint House going forward? Is it part of the Kasa portfolio, so Mint House by Kasa, or is this something that's going to go into the bigger company and mostly be absorbed?
Yeah, our approach to this is to bring the two companies together in a 1 + 1 = 3 fashion. Mm-hmm. So bring the best of both companies together. Their properties that are joining the overall Kasa portfolio network are extremely high quality. And so we're really excited about property here in our backyard, 70 Pine, in New York City, a property in DC. There are properties in Nashville and Tampa and St. Pete and other cities. So those will be joining. They have really built out a nice commercial function on the group and corporate sales side. And so we're excited to integrate that into what we're doing. And a lot of the markets that they're in are markets that we already have a presence in. So it's always valuable to go deeper into those markets. You asked about the brand. Initially, we will not make a change to the Mint House brand. And so we recognize they built something special. The properties will add a by Kasa to them, so that when someone books on Kasa.com, every property will be added to Kasa.com. They understand that they booked and are staying with the place that they thought. Over time, we might reevaluate, but in the immediate term, the plan is to maintain the brand on the properties without change outside of the by Kasa moniker to clarify the experience for the guests.
Cool. Good to know. I'm curious too, just for the going deeper in destinations you guys are currently in, are there any new destinations being added to the Kasa portfolio with this acquisition?
Yeah, we are, we're not in St. Pete or Tampa, which are very close to each other. And so we're adding those two destinations. And we are already in the Dallas area, but we're adding Dallas downtown as part of this. Those are, and we're already in the Bay Area. Menlo Park is, we're not in the city of Menlo Park. And so, yeah, there are, I would say the Bay Area, because we're in, that's maybe that is deeper as well as an additional city on the map. But there are a couple of, nice new locations that folks who stay with Kasa will be able to choose from.
Nice. So not just going deeper, but a little bit wider at the same time. So that's always good.
Yeah, I think something like 2/3 of the inventory is in overlapping markets, and 1/3 is in new markets, which is a nice balance.
Yeah.
A lot of it is deeper, but it also expands the options for folks who are traveling with us as well.
Well, to have 70 Pine on your guys' roster too is just phenomenal. It's a great property. I got to visit and stay and film some podcasts at the property not a couple months ago, but a while back ago and last year. So phenomenal property.
Very special property. We'd love all your listeners to come and visit us
yes.
There for sure.
It's totally worth it. It's totally worth it. It's beautiful, beautiful decor, great interior. For this next segment, I kind of want to pivot into, which I know you've been paying attention to a lot. Obviously, it's hard for anyone in the industry not to pay attention to what happened with Sonder, as Sonder's collapse was a huge moment in this space. A lot of us saw it coming, but I would say still kind of shook on how it actually went down. And now Kasa is one of the last standing scaled urban operators today. So how did you guys survive what others couldn't? Because I think there's a graveyard behind you in terms of the urban operators that are no longer here. So I would love to know, what do you find to be different?
Yeah, I have tremendous respect for everyone trying to build a new hospitality company. It is not easy to do. It is certainly not easy to do when you are punched in the face by COVID and then interest rates changing and the space markets just dramatically adjusting over time, and people's preferences. You get false signal during COVID around preferences and around suburban areas, and then some different markets saw extreme shifts in demand, and so it's that's very challenging for nascent companies. Sonder and the other builders in this space, I wrote this in I really love the Teddy Roosevelt, the Roosevelt quote on man in the arena. They're in the arena and they're building, and they had good teams, and they didn't make it through. So I say this as a critic, recognizing that it's easier to be a critic. The two things that were different for us were the lease model and a real focus on our G&A load being right sized to the type of business that we were building. But I think the lease model is really, you don't have to look beyond that. That model has been the lease arbitrage model has proven economically fragile across business cycles, especially in the United States. And that's been true for the last decade. It was true for 50 years, for 100 years. And it's just a classic mismatch between fixed obligations and that are long-term oriented and short-term receipts. And that in a cyclical market like hospitality creates problems. Whereas in a management agreement model, not only do you avoid that to the benefit of owners who then have a stronger and more secure partner, but you also become more aligned with owners. And so because you're rowing in the same direction, meaning when the property wins, you win, and the owner wins, you are more likely to think about how to invest in the property in a more effective way to drive results for the property long term. So those are the two major issues: the lease model and the G&A load. But the lease model is kind of the thing you don't need to look any further from. The lease model is not the winning formula for this sector. The winning formula is the management model, and that's been the proven management and franchise model has been the proven model in hospitality to create value for all parties involved for a very long time. So it's one that we believe it's important to, you don't need to reinvent. You should kind of follow that lesson. Maybe the last thought is there are a lot of sectors that start off with many players and then consolidate on one economic model and business model and approach that works. And so you could have made the same comment that you made about this sector, about search, where InfoSeek, Alta Vista, and 40 other companies all consolidated in one. And you could have made the same comment in social networks. And obviously we're very different sectors, but the point is that often there is a proliferation and then there's a consolidation, and we're just in that maturing moment of that consolidation.
Cool. Very well said. You even answered my follow-up question, so I'm not even going to go there. But I want to move into kind of what's next for you guys in 2026 and the years beyond. I know in August of 2025, you guys raised around $40 million from Silver Lake Waterman. You guys have a huge, high, very healthy yearly gross booking revenue that I heard from our colleague at Skift, Sean O'Neill. And I feel like this is, honestly, even though we got to meet 5 years ago during the COVID era, I feel like this is kind of just the beginning. So I want to know, are there more acquisitions coming? And do you feel like Kasa is well capitalized for consolidation in this category moving forward?
Yeah, it was hugely validating and exciting to have Silver Lake as partners. They're one of the, they're one of the great investors of today, and certainly of yesterday as well. And they give us the financial firepower to invest in a moment where there's a lot of opportunities to drive improvement in the overall operating system that creates performance for properties. You asked around M&A. I gave a presentation to our board in August around our strategy and our focus. And the strategy was really to go slow to go fast, focus on the fundamentals, deprioritize, ironically, given the fact that we did this acquisition, but deprioritize strategic growth and focus really on improving the profit that we drive to owners in a meaningful way by investing in our commercial function, which is brand, marketing, distributions, corporate and group sales, and revenue management, as well as in the guest experience to deliver a compelling and unique experience to guests. Which is some back to the basics things like really up-leveling our training systems, up-leveling our onboarding, our hiring, ensuring that our standards are extremely clear, ensuring that the signature experiences of Kasa are very clear, to some things that can be AI assisted, like personalizing people's stays, which is a hot topic in hospitality, but very hard to do really well. And we have not only the systems to do it well, but we have the operational will and ability to drive towards that. And so our real focus is to go slow to go fast, invest in the elements of the business that drive performance for owners, which are commercial and guest experience. And then in the case that M&A is very hard, right? And most M&A, from various reasons, does not succeed. And so the bar is extraordinarily high for us to pursue that. We are not proactively pursuing M&A. However, if the match is right, there's alignment in culture, there are complementarities in the organizations, the agreement types work, the properties match what we're looking for, then it could make sense. But we are not solving for that. We're solving for continuing to grow organically, but really focus much more on, in order to grow organically, we need to drive continued investment in property performance. That's my number 1, 2, 3 priority. I'm obsessed about it. I'm staying on our properties all the time. And if we do that, if we do that really well and continue to invest in the right ways, then I agree with you. It's the beginning of the journey, and we're really well positioned. But it's we have work ahead, as we always do.
Yeah, the refinement process. It's never easy, but it's slow and it's worth it. I love it. So Roman, this has been great. I want to kind of ask you a last curveball question. It's really something that just kind of came on my mind as you're talking. So forgive me for going off script. But as this space is getting smaller in terms of competition, and you guys are what I would consider quote unquote the Goliath now. What is your advice to the next urban operator that is, or brand that's created in the space that wants to go big, wants to conquer the world, who was just like you, 10 years ago or however long ago, to that started Kasa, right? Like, I would love to know any piece of advice or one tidbit for them getting it started.
Well, first off, I do not believe we are Goliath by any stretch. We are always the underdog and forever the underdog. And frankly, no matter what, our competition is from within. So it's competing with ourselves and knowing we can drive for better outcomes, and just being insecure insecure due to the fact that we know we can always strive for better. So I almost like, I'm going to unhear. I plugged my ears with wax when you said Goliath. We are the underdog. I do have a product for those people who are starting anew, which is we offer our services. This is not something we've really, merchandised or publicly shared on our site. And it's been in conversations and one-on-one bases with these kinds of operators. We white label our systems in the back end, which we've really meticulously built. It's very challenging to build systems, operate, try to find the real estate. We've built a lot of the back end that automates does a lot of the financial reporting and accounting, and does the all the things you don't really think you don't get paid for when you build one of these companies, but are really important to do really well and really rigorously. And they're rarely part of the competitive advantage for an operator. So they can talk to us. But outside of that self-serving comment, I think they should be, they should recognize that this is a very exciting industry, dynamic industry, but challenging one. And in order to succeed and probably they should multiply by 10 how difficult it is to scale the business and to build it with great care and high quality, because there are a lot of plates you have to spin to do this really well. I think this is one of the businesses where from the outside it looks easy. Anyone can be an innkeeper. Many listeners have Airbnb'd in quotes their place. And on the inside, you have to get 1,000 things right in order to succeed in the business. And so just know that that's the kind of challenge you're in for. And if that excites you and you love pain, then you should then you should do it.
I love it. Great advice. Nothing else to add on my end. Very well said. Well, Roman, you guys are definitely crushing it. You guys are definitely growing and going through that refinement process, which I love to see. So I'm excited to have you back on the show once we have another exciting announcement. But until then, I appreciate all your time today.
I appreciate you having me. And yeah, we have got our work to do. I always say to the team, we're at day 0. We've got a long road ahead. Appreciate it.